Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Welcome to Connecting the Dots, where we help make sense of tech and infrastructure news and how it, well, connects to your world. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan. It's great to be with you on Monday, October 20th, 2025.
Okay, before we get into the Morningstar report, just a quick look around.
Let's do it.
Right here in Sacramento, looking really nice, sunny, high of 79 Fahrenheit expected. Just a perfect Monday.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Nationally, though, it's a bit more mixed. We've got gusty winds, dry conditions, sparking some fire concerns across the Plains states.
Right.
Meanwhile, parts of the Northeast could see some heavy rain, maybe gusty winds, too. And the good news is the mountain snow in the northern Rockies seems to be finally winding down.
Okay, so a bit of everything out there. Now, the markets. We ended last week on a pretty positive note.
We did, yeah. The Dow Jones finished Friday up over 300 points. That gave it a weekly gain of over 1%.
Nice.
And the S&P 500, pretty much the same story. Strong daily gains there as well.
And crypto. Still chaotic seems like the word.
Huh, yeah. That's one way to put it. Bitcoin actually had a significant daily bounce, up almost $2,000, opened today around 108,671.
And this is the key bit, isn't it? You have to remember that came after losing, 4% over the previous week?
Exactly. Volatility is just, part of the deal there.
It really is. Okay, before we jump into our main stories from the Morningstar report, we're excited to welcome a new sponsor. Especially timely, the holidays creeping up.
Oh, yeah. Who is it?
We're talking about Old Glory. They're an iconic store for music and sports fan merchandise. Seriously, if you have techie friends or family who love music or sports, obviously, this is a great spot to find something unique.
Nice. And listeners get a deal.
They do. Use the promo code SNARFUL, that's SNARFUL at checkout, and you get 15% off your entire purchase.
15%, that's solid.
Yeah. You can check out everything they have at oldglory.com.
Oldglory.com, got it.
All right, let's get into it. First story today. It really highlights the just incredible scale of the infrastructure being built literally over our heads.
We're talking SpaceX, right? They hit a huge milestone this weekend.
Exactly. On Sunday, they launched 56 more Starlink satellites. And that launch pushed the total number they've put into orbit past 10,000.
10,000, wow. That number's just hard to grasp sometimes.
It really is. And get this, that single launch day helped them tie their previous annual launch record from last year.
Already. And we've still got, over 2 months left in 2025?
Right. That frequency, that pace, that's maybe the bigger story here.
It is. And you know what makes that frequency possible? It's the reusability.
Mm-hmm.
So while 10,000 launched is a big number, the real engineering marvel involves one of the Falcon 9 boosters they used. It just completed its 31st mission.
31st. For one rocket booster.
31st. And it landed successfully back on the drone ship, ready for another go.
That is the number that changes everything, isn't it? The economics of space just completely flip when you can reuse the hardware that many times.
Totally. It takes orbital delivery from this, super expensive custom project.
Yeah.
And makes it more like a repeatable shuttle service, almost routine.
Yeah, the launcch structure for building this global infrastructure just fundamentally shifts.
Exactly. Now, there is a reality check here. It's important. Of those 10,000 launched, only about 8,600 are actually operational right now.
Right, because they have a limited lifespan, don't they? About 5 years or so before they deorbit.
That's it. Planned obsolescence, but for space hardware.
So looking bigger picture, SpaceX already has approval for 12,000 satellites. And they have plans for 30,000.
30,000.
Yeah. We're moving past just technological cool factor here and into, some real political and environmental questions.
And that's the dot we're connecting for you. This sheer scale is driving those growing concerns about satellite overcrowding, space debris.
Because it's not just SpaceX anymore.
Not at all. You've got Amazon's Project Kuiper ramping up. Big efforts in Europe, in China too. Low Earth Orbit, or LEO. It's quickly becoming essential infrastructure. But also pretty contested territory.
Crowded skies. Okay, from the crowding up there, let's bring it back down to Earth. A different kind of battleground. The fight for independent media, specifically on college campuses.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
This next story, I have to say, gives you a little bit of hope for student journalism.
Yeah, right.
Pretty cool.
Okay, lay it out for us.
So the rivalry between Purdue University and Indiana University, right? It's pretty heated. Decades long.
Oh, yeah. Big Ten rivals?
Exactly. Well, students from Purdue's newspaper, The Exponent, did something extraordinary. On Friday, they printed and then drove down and distributed 3,000 copies of a special Solidarity edition on the rival IU campus in Bloomington.
Wow. Crossing enemy lines for journalism. I love it. Did they call it something dramatic?
They did. Operation Clandestine Delivery.
Perfect. Okay, so what prompted this journalistic truce?
It was a response to a decision by IU administrators. They decided to end the final print editions of IU's own paper, the Indiana Daily Student, or IDS. And pretty controversially, they also fired the director of student media.
Oof. What was the official reason? And what was the suspected reason?
Well, the dispute apparently started over whether a special homecoming edition of the paper could include non-homecoming news. IU claimed the decision to end print was purely financial, about the medium of distribution, not editorial content. Said they were trying to reduce debt.
But the students and press groups saw it differently.
Right. They immediately called it censorship, an attempt to control the narrative, basically.
So Purdue's paper steps in. What did their Solidarity edition say?
The front page was pretty blunt. We student journalists must stand together. Inside, it had strong pieces about the value of press freedom, editorial independence, and get this, op-eds written by the editors-in-chief from both the Purdue and the IU papers.
That's powerful. Rivals uniting.
It really is. And here's the kicker, the real irony. Purdue's own paper, The Exponent, is fighting its own battles with its university.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just this past summer, Purdue University basically ended its formal relationship with The Exponent. They revoked things like on-campus distribution rights, parking passes, even the right to use the name Purdue commercially.
Wow. So they're fighting for IU's paper's independence while simultaneously fighting for their own survival against their own administration.
Exactly. It adds so much weight to their actions, doesn't it? It shows this isn't just some, isolated spat at IU. It's part of a bigger ongoing struggle everywhere for editorial independence against, institutional control, financial and otherwise.
Definitely.
The publisher of The Exponent, Kyle Charters, summed it up perfectly. He said, I think some things are more important than the rivalry. For us and for a lot of people, freedom of the press and student media is very important.
A good reminder that the fight for the First Amendment happens everywhere, even, maybe especially, on college campuses. It's a training ground.
Well said.
Okay, that theme of established institutions maybe resisting independent ideas, it brings us nicely to our third story. A major culture clash happening right now inside CBS News.
Yeah, this one is fascinating. It's like watching old media collide head-on with new media philosophy. We're talking about Bari Weiss.
Right. The very outspoken opinion journalist, co-founder of the Free Press Online. She just became the new editor-in-chief of CBS News, started, October 6th?
That's right. And it's a really unorthodox choice. I mean, her background is entirely in digital media opinion writing, not legacy broadcast television.
And she basically built her brand in part by criticizing the very kind of legacy media organizations she now leads, often calling them biased or out of touch.
Exactly. So as you might imagine, the reception inside the CBS newsroom has been frosty. Reports describe things like hostility and stunned awkwardness.
A culture clash waiting to happen.
Pretty much. It seems to be a fundamental disagreement over what journalistic objectivity even means today. There are already some notable anecdotes coming out. Well, in her first meeting with the staff of 60 Minutes, the flagship news program, she reportedly asked them point blank, "Why does the country think you're biased?"
Wow. That's direct, especially since the 60 Minutes team probably sees their work as the definition of nonpartisan reporting.
Precisely. But Weiss is basically forcing them to confront the perception of bias, which is exactly how many digital native critics view these big legacy institutions. It frames the problem differently.
So she's bringing the outside critique inside. How else is she shaking things up?
Well, details from her first big editorial call are interesting. Apparently she was 5 minutes late.
Okay.
Suggested going after really big A-list interviews like Hillary Clinton, maybe booking them directly via text message, bypassing traditional channels.
Okay. Disrupting the process.
And according to reports, she also used some, let's say, colorful language. Dropped an F-bomb, reportedly saying something like, "Let's do the effing news."
Okay. So definitely making waves, not just ripples.
You could say that. She's also apparently complained about leaks already coming out about her first couple of weeks and urged executives to find out who's talking.
So it's not just about style, is it? There's an ideological component here, too.
For sure. Weiss identifies, I believe, as center-left, But she's a very vocal critic of what she sees as excesses on the far left or, wokeness.
And her public stances on certain issues like the conflict in Israel or gender-affirming care, they've definitely alienated some progressives, likely including some within CBS News itself.
Right, so what you're really watching here is legacy media grappling, maybe struggling, with disruption. This isn't just about hiring a new boss. It feels more like an established institution fighting over its own identity, its culture, in an era where public trust is, frankly, way down.
Yeah, it's a battle over who gets to define the news and how it's delivered. Really interesting to watch unfold. Okay, so from SpaceX building infrastructure that changes space economics to student journalists fighting for print's independence and Bari Weiss challenging broadcast news culture. Quite a day of institutional friction stories.
Absolutely. Hey, before we wrap things up with a final thought for you, we should also give a nod to another sponsor supporting the show.
That's right. Also sponsoring us is Skoni. That's Skoni. They're the premium golf shoe store. If you're into golf or know someone who is, you'll want to check them out for some really high-quality gear.
Was that great stuff? And same deal for listeners.
Yep. Use that same promo code SNARFUL, all caps or lowercase, doesn't matter, SNARFUL, at checkout, and you get 15% off your entire purchase there, too.
Excellent. The website for that is skoni.com.
Skoni.com. Okay, so let's try and tie these three seemingly pretty different stories together.
Yeah, the common thread seems to be about established institutions hitting friction points, doesn't it? Whether it's how we regulate space, how universities handle student press, or how legacy media defines itself.
Exactly. They're all dealing with these massive growing pains right now. They're being forced, really, to adapt to new technologies, new distribution models, new cultural expectations.
Like reusable rockets, the shift from print to digital, or just the entirely different landscape of post-cable news culture. The struggle isn't really if they'll change, is it? It seems more about how much they resist the change that's, already happening.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Which big institution that you rely on every day might be facing its own internal shakeup, its own breaking point right now?
That is a good question to chew on.
We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.